put you in my pocket and take you out of there when we're past the gate. I'll be able to do this with just one hand. About as cold today as it was yesterday. I put the book on. Dog. Well, are we pooping again? Do you want to poop here, or do you want to poop in the grate outside? You want to poop on the grate outside? Fast. Fast. Isn't fast or fuss in German something like go get it, get him, attack? I have no idea if you can hear anything I'm saying, by the way. My coat is made out of plastic, so it's probably rather noise proof. Okay. Ah. Gate striking back. Okay. Oh my god. It's not particularly easy to do this in these gloves. Okay, all right. I am here now. How have you all been? A rather unexpected chore found me yesterday, and I cannot say I wasted a particularly long time on it, but it definitely knocked me off my orbit in many ways. Schedule-wise, emotionally, energetically. Yeah. Gosh darn it. I essentially I'm still on schedule, actually, with everything I promised to deliver on. Across Zero Chapter 4 Early Access, quote unquote, will be coming out before the end of year, maybe even tomorrow. I'm just not sure how I will prioritize my shenanigans. I don't know. Not 100% sure. There will be one big live, like drone performance tomorrow, most likely. Also, funnily enough, I will probably put everything together and render it. I mean, I did mix it finally because I recorded the whole thing multi-track, and yeah, so it needed to be mixed. But I think I'm done with it. I mixed and pre-mastered it pretty alrighty, so I will bounce it today. I'll combine video plus audio, do light, very light, very superficial, whatever, color adjustment or whatever of the footage, and that'll be it, pretty much. That'll be it. I just, from there, it'll probably be like a few hours of rendering. That's why I'm saying it's highly unlikely I'll be able to upload it today. So I'm uploading it tomorrow, and then it's unless I literally sit and wait for the video to process, it may not even go live tomorrow, because it'll take an hour or so, right, to process. So yeah, But in just a few days, whatever. A new video should be out in January. Not only 3 more videos will be out of the same nature, but an entire LP will be out. That's what we professionals call an album regarding, music being released. So yeah, that's the plan. And already set across 0. And I also need to wait, what the hell do I need to do? I had something else on my list. Well, I'll keep working on, chapter 5. And I know, like, chapter 4 is still in early access, but you're already working on chapter 5. Bitch, I'm already working on book 2. I just need to... Chapter 5 is really short. And, I saw you licking your lips. I don't know what is it that you plan on eating there, but you're not doing it. Come back. Chapter 5 is really short, so... Before I go deep into everything else, I just want to elevate that one real quick, like. Oh, and yeah, I need to make a short update on Cloudum. Just the fact that the XS build, the API for it, or APK rather. Or wait, do they still, like, application? What do I say? APK? API is the word my brain was thinking of. It's SDK, Software Developer Kit. I was like, Application Developer Kit. No, that's not how they... yeah. So Cloudum XS, what one might call an SDK, is basically ready. All the systems are in place. You might say Cloudum XS is in the alpha state right now. So, like, all the systems are there, but not... Well, and the content is also there, actually. It's just nothing is arranged yet. Everything is still arranged the prototype way. Which, technically, it's playable. Technically, you can still complete, like, the prototype game with the XS systems. It'll just take you really long because the flight speed is much lower in XS than it is in prototype. So yeah, if you want the full historical, context experience of Cloudum, XS is not going to be just like, bigger and better and completely replaces prototype. Well, it kind of does. It's not bigger, but I do believe it is better, hence, me doing it. I wouldn't otherwise. But it's not a one-to-one replacement, as in, it's going to be a bit of a different experience. I would even say quite a bit. Although it will look very similar. But the perspective will be completely different, and the overall pace and the, structure of the journey, it will be just a completely different game. Again, a completely different game, but with all the same puzzles, and platforming challenges, like the standalone ones. Obviously, there will be a few new ones, just due to the nature of having this, like, giant Metroidvania style interconnected level. But there will be a lot of similarities in things like platforming challenges, and puzzles are going to be all the same. I'm not even going to bother coming up with one new puzzle. I think there are so many puzzles in Cloudum already. Well, I say so many, but there's basically a dozen, but how much more do you need for a game like that? I think it's more than enough. Most people wouldn't solve probably even one of those, I suppose. I think. because they're pretty old school. The game doesn't even explain to you what the puzzle is, let alone the solution. Where modern video games will be like, okay, in this puzzle room, this is what you're supposed to be doing. And then there usually be like, okay, step 1, take this lever and pull it to the right. Like, okay, no, bitch. Okay, maybe thank you for the explanation, but don't tell me how to actually solve it. And the game was like, no, I don't care. You will listen to me. You will listen to my explanation. In fact, I will not allow you to even press a single button. Take one step in any direction, anything. You cannot even pause the game, okay? Just press X already to complete step A for solving this puzzle. Like, yeah, Cloudom doesn't do even that. It's rather old school. You need to figure out yourself what the puzzle box is even about. And most people will definitely not be able to do that. Like, you give them multiple tones, right? You give them, I don't know, like three different tones and different pitches. And someone like myself will think, okay, well, something to do with the sequence of these tones probably has to do something with the puzzle. Like a normie would just be like, okay, so what now? I interacted with the columns, they made sounds, what now? What? You know, I just imagine like a dark side Phil, you know, looking behind the camera, being like, what? Wait. You know, this thing Dark Side Phil does. I'm just pressing the buttons. I'm pressing the buttons. What a stupid game. Stupid. Yeah. Well, anyway. So I should probably make a micro post about that on IndieDB. But what I'm even more excited about than making a stupid micro post on IndieDB, basically saying, hey guys, here's a little tiny small update to like the tech demo of Cloudom Access. It now starts with you landed. Isn't that fantastical? It is actually fantastical and a huge breakthrough for my system, for my physics. Because there's like literally 15 variables are involved to have the ship, Icarus, to have it landed and stay landed. And then take off. And like for nothing to break, for all the physics, like for everything to work properly between those stages. And all of the scripts that enable, you know, those variables necessary for the ship to land and to stay landed and be take-offable, all of those scripts are made from the perspective of the ship being mid-flight. So, tracking all of that stuff, because there's like references to specific objects in the scene, like i.e. where you landed, for example. Like tracking all those references so that I can load the game, force those references, and obviously, you know, enforce the Boolean states, make sure I'm enforcing them properly, that something else doesn't override them. That's another fun thing. Like, yeah, that was quite a bit of a challenge. Because I originally made this whole thing, obviously, I wanted the ship to land. So all the scripts, well, not all the scripts, all this, like the system with these like 15 variables, you know, was written from, you know, the perspective of the ship being mid-flight, obviously. And then, yeah, when I realized that, what if I want to start the game with the ship landed? I know, crazy. It wasn't that easy to do. In fact, for some reason, first time I tried it, I realized, okay, so many variables. Okay, well, let's try. And I tried quickly, and it didn't work at all. I probably missed like 5 important things. Like, the ship was just like basically flew into infinity, you know, the moment you'd start the game. Or it would be like slowly drifting to the side. Or you would be drifting to the side, because the player character is actually a child of the ship, believe it or not, because the player character obviously needs to move with the ship as the ship flies around. So the whole thing would be drifting to the side and you with it. Yeah, it's like, I mean, as you walk outside the ship. So yeah, fun times, right? And I just basically said, okay, fuck it. It's probably, I cannot do it. It's undoable. It cannot be done. And so that's why in prototype, when the game loads, you are mid-flight near your last point of landing, but you never actually landed. Because it was just not worth it for me. It was just not worth it to do any of that. And I also like thought, okay, you know what? It will probably be rather annoying for people to start the game by literally having to take off. I mean, it's quite possible that some people would. I'm talking as if there's a single person who actually played Cloudum Prototype. I mean, but like, imagine there are people actually playing Cloudum Prototype, right? Like, sure, there would be, you know, people who land just to hit the checkpoint and then they like go to bed. So those people are gonna have to start the game by landing. Yeah. But I think most people, a lot of people, you know, would be no, not quite as bad. Some of the, well, I assume like a wind would blow it over here, but some of the garbage in this area is just so confusing. Why would people, like, you sometimes, literally in this area, you would find like a lawn mower. Wow. Lawn mower here, you know. There are at least two over there, in fact. Like, why would you just take, like, okay, so this thing that I don't need and I probably cannot sell because it's junk, I'm just gonna take it into the forest and leave it there forever. For nature to, you know, run its course, you know, for the nature to claim it. And I'm like, it's like the nature, for nature to claim it. Like, why? Like, obviously it's not going to happen. You have probably seen multiple times a whole fucking car being over there. Like, just so you know, the lawn fucking mowers are over there. Car is like over there. We're literally on the same line with it. It's like all the way there. Like, those things abandoned here, they aren't telling any stories really. You're very clearly taken here by assholes. Because, like, this is my utilization program. My personal one. Like what were those people thinking? It is just so stupid. I mean, I understand it's not that big a deal of, you know, if they actually drain the engine of and everything really off of all the fluids, you know, oil and I don't know how bad antifreeze is for nature. Probably also not particularly good. If they drained all that stuff, took the battery out, like if the car was actually properly gutted, it's probably not that environmentally bad. But what do you think somebody will think when they eventually encounter it in the wilderness? And what are they going to think? Like, what a giant fucking douchebag. Instead of taking his car, and you know it's him, right? Instead of taking his car to a junkyard to be, you know, either just stacked with other stuff there or, you know, crushed, or sell it to somebody for like $10, or pay somebody $10 to take it off your hands. Because, you know, you, like, realistically, you'd have to strip it, right? There are probably still some parts in it that have some value. So people will take it off your hands. Like, you're not gonna have to pay thousands of dollars for somebody to take it off your hands. No, like, people will definitely either pay you $10 for it, or, well, you pay them $10, but at least, you know, at least you do the thing right. But no, the guy's like, I'm gonna ask my asshole fucking drunken farmer neighbor to hook it to a tractor and drag it into the middle of the forest, and now we're just gonna leave it there like forever. Yeah. Ain't that great? And ain't that grand? Like, why? What a stupid solution to a non-problem. It's impractical, and it's ridiculous. And like, you really need to think about the kind of person who would do it in the first place. There's no way they fucking stripped the car before doing it. You know, because the kind of person who would actually do that, you know, rather than paying $10, they're gonna drag the husk of the car here to abandon it. Like, yeah, that's not the kind of person who will do it properly. They're not gonna strip the car. And like, what do you think? What do they think they do? Like, have they watched this whole thing where you can dump like a body of a car into the ocean so that like corals grow on it, and you help the ecosystem that way? Did they think that? Did they watch that on the Discovery Channel or Top Gear, and they decided to? Like, they decided that probably works the same for forests. And I know I keep calling this area forest. It's not a forest, but well, it's a little one, you know, for all you can tell. Aini, come on, let's go back. Let's not push any further there. The bush is getting rather dense. I don't want to be maneuvering there. Those ain't our bushes anyway. So yeah, fun times. What was I talking about? Probably something that doesn't matter. Oh, I was saying something about Cloudum. Yeah, so it's kind of it makes sense to start the game landed, right? But also, you know, for people who just finish the puzzle and, you know, hit the checkpoint by doing that, and they want to call it there, so by the time they load the game up, they are ready to go. Hey, you start the game up, you're already mid-flight. I don't know. You coming or not, Aini? Like, I have no idea what is it that you think you're doing, but we're going this direction. I am going, and you're gonna have to go with me. Wearing my proper boots, by the way, today. They didn't glue up all the way. Probably heat extension, which I didn't account for. Made it so that the gap, like a giant gap that I filled with glue, like it expanded more over time. I was waiting for the glue to dry, so I actually didn't fill it with enough glue. I will do it again, but I can already tell this is working because my feet are warm-ish right now. I can tell that my feet aren't hot or anything, but I can tell that my feet are okay, and I can feel that they are in the process of, in the continuous process of trying to warm up, rather than just being cold AF. So it does work. It does work a little bit, and both of my feet feel approximately similar, which is a good tell because this shoe is all right. This one had a giant gap, and I could tell it. I could tell it that the tips of my toes, I couldn't feel them, you know, on this foot specifically. This one was just cold. This one was just coming off. So in this temperature, at least, there seems to be no difference. Maybe in a colder one, it'll reappear. But for now, it's a preliminary success, okay? I still have to do the thing I want to fill the gap properly. And maybe the whole thing will last me a winter or something. I mean, obviously the next winter it's just pointless, but I don't, and I basically cannot waste like $200 on proper winter boots just on the off chance that the coming winter I will wear them for maybe a couple of times or maybe like half a year. It's like this winter seems to be cold. A week ago it did. Now it's very moderate. There's no snow. It's not that cold. So again, I would feel like an idiot if if a week ago I invested in basically there is no such a thing as a proper winter, like hiking, essentially, like hiking territory, hiking winter boot. There's no such thing as a cheap one. You cannot buy one for $50. You can buy a really shitty one that you can pretend, okay, this will do, right? But no, we're talking like a proper, like Timberland type of thing that will actually be warm and not just kind of look warm, but lukewarm. Lukewarm. It just looks warm, right? But then you get out of the house at like minus 10, and you realize that actually I might as well be in Crocs right now. Like this thing seems to be, it claims to be winterized, but is it really? So yeah, something that actually works. And then, by the way, another thing, even like quote unquote real brands, like footwear is such garbage these days. Like you can get Columbia for like $150 and the whole thing will come apart after like 10 hours worth of walking. I don't know if it's because of fakes or it's because, production qualities. Even something that's supposed to be made in, I don't know, America, Mexico, Greenland. All of that is just, I don't know, packaged in those countries, but actually everything is being made, Again, I cannot even say like China. Does China really produce, is the quote-unquote, like, big brand stuff that's made in China, is it actually of low quality because it's made in China? I don't think it is. It's just, there's such a thing as a Chinese fake brand, and you just open Amazon, and that's all you see. It's just fake, non-existent brands from China. Yeah, sure. By the way, I'm not sure why Amazon allows that to happen. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. There are real American brands, and there are brands that may not necessarily be American, but they're still real. Can we not just, like, what's up with the whole thing that any random dude from anywhere in the world can claim to be like a kitchen appliance company, manufacturer, make some garbage in their shed, and then go on Amazon claiming to be this like multinational, giant company with, this like proven design, 10 years of innovation, rigorous testing of every single appliance we have. And it's like, no, you're not. You're just a random dude from China who's just drop shipping, basically, stuff that you like steal from other manufacturers in China, and you just slap your sticker on it and that's it. That's at best. Or at worst, you have your own cheap pseudo factory that's probably illegal or something, or it would be by laws of like how you present yourself on Amazon. It would be illegal in America for an American to do something like that, but it isn't for you to do that in China. And Amazon just doesn't care. Like, I don't know what the point is, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't know why it happens that way. I absolutely can tell you that it does not 100% of the blame is not with the whole, oh, that's because they salt, they salt the roads. Yeah, salting the roads is absolute cancer for everything. I agree. Everyone knows that. But it's been tested, including by me personally. Even if I don't go on salt roads at all, there's no salt here. You know, if I just get shoes and I walk just here, pretty much, after a season or two, they completely fall apart. Didn't used to be like that. No, when I was a teen and I was walking everywhere, including snow, a pair of shoes would last me like 5 years, I kid you not. I would literally wear them until they completely fall apart. The problem is that if I buy a pair of shoes now, I didn't even have the opportunity to wear them down, particularly. They just fall apart while still new. It's like, remember that scene from Knockoff, a Rob Schneider and Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, made in Hong Kong by that absolute mad lad of a director. Great fucking action movie. It's basically a Jackie Chan movie, but with Schneider and Van Damme, and there's actually nothing wrong with it at all. It's a really strong Jackie Chan movie without Jackie Chan. Like, I don't know what the problem is. Like, people regard it as schlock, but I love that movie. Pretty much everything about it. So remember that like rickshaw race scene in the opening where the knockoff Puma sneakers, running shoes that the Van Damme character is wearing, they literally fall apart. At one point, he just like steps down and he lifts off his foot, his leg, and the sole just comes off. Like, it's just his foot here, the sole. It's just off entirely. Yeah, something like that will basically happen. The shoe will still be new, there will be hardly any wear and tear on it, but it'll just fall apart. Like, pristinely. It's like, okay, cool, nice. Are we looking at cows there? We're doing cow looking? Are you counting cows? Well, don't, be careful, not fall asleep. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Right? I don't know why I did that. It's just something very presidential about Ainian. Sorry, I would zoom in on him or something, but this is what I'm wearing. Not sorry, actually. Just explaining. I don't have to explain myself to you. Do I? I don't know. Feel free to tell me. I can pretty much guarantee I will not see it. So, yeah, whatever. The Cloudum thing, right? Shoes, preliminary success. Cloudum, I beat my own, physics system, the department of it that is responsible for landing and taking off. So now the game can actually be started in the taking, in the landed position. In fact, I'll tell you a secret. The way I have it set up right now, I do have a snapshot of how everything like needs to be like originally. But in the state I have it right now, now the game has to start with the ship landed. But again, it was a huge success. It was a huge success, and for Cloudum Access, it will never come up the need for the ship to be mid-air when you start the game, because Cloudum Access will primarily be a walking puzzle game. It's no longer a No Man's Sky / whatever else, flying around exploration game. It's now just a first-person adventure game with the ship flying like mechanics, right? But that's not the point. Ship flying mechanics ain't the point. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll definitely make a post about it or something. But, oh, yeah, I remember. there's hardly anything I can say about it, because it's a really kind of like a nothing thing. Nothing thing. I love it. I love it. I should, Heine, I should copyright it. The nothing thing is, I really kind of want to make another Kickstarter style presentation, or maybe even more like a semi-formalized pitch, like PowerPoint presentation for Cloud Access, because I mean, I'm not sure if any, I don't think any publisher will be interested, because at its core it is pretty much still the same game. It is still adventure game, yeah, it is still primarily a puzzle game, or that's the point of it at least, still. Only now it's even more visible. And just like last time, you know, a game like that, for a publisher who actually understands what's selling, so giant open world for Explore, check, right? Games like that have broken the bank in the near future, in the recent past. You know, games like the Talos Principle, hugely successful for what it is. Games like Outer Wilds, ridiculously successful for what it is. Even Subnautica to a certain extent. You know, Subnautica obviously has quite a few more systems, but it's primarily a game about exploration. Everyone who actually played Subnautica for longer than 10 hours can tell you that it's not a survival game, it's an exploration game. It's like 95% exploration game. It's not about crafting, it's not about base building, it's not about survival. You know? Yes, all the systems are there, and if you're really enjoying them, you can dabble in them all you want, but that's not where the content of the game lies. And it's not something that the game expects of you, you know, it's not something you have to be doing. That's how I can tell. That's how I justify the fact that, yeah, sure, maybe some developers were thinking, hey, we're making a base building game. And, well, that's what they had to be thinking, you know, in order for those systems to be great. Yeah, but the game lead wouldn't tell you that Subnautica is a game about base building underwater and survival. Like, they wouldn't tell you that. You know, other than the marketing spiels occasionally, maybe. But no, guys, it's a 60-hour game pretty much. If you play it for the first time and you're actually being curious, and you do survival for maybe the first 2 hours, and you do base building for the next 3, and then you hardly build anything else other than like periodically you unlock something, you build it, okay, cool, now I have this thing, let's go deeper. There's the car, by the way. Again, I would zoom in on it, but cannot, so might as well. Whether I stand still or not. It's actually even difficult to imagine. I mean, obviously it wasn't dragged here when there were no trees at all. It wasn't dragged here like, 200 years ago. But this, like, if you really look at it, like, it must have been pulled here with a tractor or something. Or came here on its own. And in which case I highly doubt, it was properly stripped after that. Well, there's no such thing as properly stripping a car to dump it in the forest forever for nature to take over it. It's to take over from there, right? Like, no, there's no such thing. But still. What the hell? Why is... I suppose a tree just minimized... Yep. A tree just hit the minimize button on Android. Okay, now I have to put the glove back on. Okay, I managed to do it. Really need to use it, by the way. It's kind of distracting. Because I drank like a bottle of water before we went out. As It was an energy drink. And I needed it. Too much bullshit. Too much bullshit has to be taken care of. Okay. So yeah, I think I basically talked about everything, right? I want to make a presentation of Cloud Access. I don't think if I'm gonna end up showing it to anyone, because like, who the F cares? Maybe if there are any, maybe if I end up like personally meeting, finding out that there are any like investor groups near me or whatever, maybe I can show them that, but I'm not going to bother unless I decide to. I may, but like, I know now that there's no point sending that presentation to any of the big companies, big indie publishers. Smaller ones are not interested for some reason. Even for games, again, like I said, there's this huge precedent, right? Oh, that's what I was talking about. For games like that, doing quite all right. But no, publishers are still not interested, because publishers want to escape from Tarkov. Or they want like some pastel colors, nostalgia bait. Something cozy or whatnot. Like the indie sphere, as we know it, basically doesn't exist now. It's just nostalgia bait, retro bait, cozy bait, therapy games. Like, tell me one really interesting, really cool game that came out recently, not despite of the current indie publishing industry. It's all single people with no publishers who went against the system. Whatever companies like Devolver or Coffee Stain are supposed to stand for. Yeah, they do publish, they support, they sponsor pretty cool games, right? But you try pitching them something like that yourself, and they're just gonna be like, nah, dude, this is not quite our thing. And you'll be like, wait, what? Yeah, you see, our thing is that not only you have to be like it has to be our thing, but you have to be our guy. It's all super ties back into who you know. Like, just because you make something interesting doesn't mean that a publisher who has historically, been into interesting projects will actually be interested. Yeah, I know, Pooch. Very interesting. Must be a squirrel. Okay. I do want to make a presentation. I do want to kind of make, okay, so this is Cloud Access, right? I made it in Unity and by myself, so it looks like garbage. But I wouldn't necessarily mind making it into a proper game that, at least looks and feels, and pushed to the same degree as, I don't know, something like The Witness or Outer Wilds or the Talos Principle, because it's basically the same kind of game, so it can achieve, same level of success. And all that's required is, for me to survive long enough to finish it, and for you to, put it in the hands of the people, because that's what you do as a publisher. But yeah, I know that no one's going to be interested. I just want to make a presentation that actually outlines what Cloudum, and specifically Cloudum Access, could be, supposed to be, but probably never will be. Just because no one will play Access, no one will play Prototype, and yeah, I just want to kind of formalize, so to speak, my pitch of it, because well, no one is going to play it, no one is going even to watch a video of it, honestly. But if you can have like one sentence plus an image, maybe they'll check it out. So it's just something that's much more convenient to have in your portfolio. It's like a PowerPoint presentation. Kichi, run around if you want. It's not dark yet, so you can run around. I don't let them run around in the darkness because it just gets like when it's absolutely pitch black here. You just even with the flashlight, it takes a while to find them, and by the time you find him, he is likely to be eating a giant pile of poop left by a bunny or something. Okay, I just realized that I don't have time to ramble anymore because I do need to use it. And yeah, I just explained. I do want to make like a tiny little booklet about Cloudom XS. Because even when I actually finish it, if I do, you know, it'll still be a Unity project. So who knows, you know, if Unity decides to literally nuke everything one day as a company. I don't have the means or time or whatever, which is, well, yeah. I don't have the resources right now to port it to anything, but I would love to port it to Godot with the goal to really up the graphics. And I don't know, my game is already not particularly janky. I improved the both player controller and the flight controller so much. But yeah, you know, maybe add some AA flair to the UI and other things like that. Yeah, like make it less of something that's obviously very practical and utilitarian, right? Make it into more of a consumer grade experience. And potentially even, you know, add like audio logs to it instead of just diaries, just text. Add more text. Maybe add a few cutscenes, you know, maybe like a few animations for like intro and the outro of the game, because XS is not gonna have it unless someone like, you know, invests in it. So yeah, and this most of the storytelling I'm trying to do environmental anyway, but I wouldn't necessarily mind, you know, to have a few notes here and there, you know. There could be stuff added to it to make it into more of a, well, it sounds shallow if I say into more of a ride, right? Like, I'm not trying to make it into a roller coaster ride. I'm just saying the experience could be enriched. There is charm to the Spartan, you know, state of Cloudom right now. There's certain charm to it, I suppose. Or at least, well, some people would agree probably that, well, you can keep adding cool stuff to it, but you will lose what you have right now, which is a certain appeal, you know, it's for its minimalism. Yeah. Or in its minimalism, I mean. And yeah, true, but I think there's still quite a room. There's still quite a room for things to be added without, you know, crossing into the like Ubisoft territory with like windows popping up every 10 seconds, you know, tutorial pop-up windows and like, you know, microtransaction store windows, like all of those pop-ups. No, there's still room. And also like, yeah, or games like the Tomb Raider games, you know, that expect you to read a diary entry every 3 minutes of walking. That I don't understand. Even in the second game, I'm very curious if they fixed it in the third game, but those diary entries are all voiced, but you cannot play them as you run around. Probably because the developers are very concerned with, well, what if Lara starts talking on or someone calls her? Well, my answer to that is just, well, make it so that doesn't, like, people just don't call you. Who fucking needs it? Who needs, like, you run around, you do your thing, you do your Lara Crofting, right? Who needs it who needs the system where suddenly you can no longer run, Lara either stops in place or is being limited to slow walking because someone called her and she needs to be on the call now for the following minute. Like, who needs that? Just don't have the guy. But that's probably the reason why you cannot play those audio logs while you're playing. But like, really think about it. That's like Bioshock had the same problem. Audio log stops playing, and then you can reinitiate it again. It doesn't start. It starts from the beginning, which can be annoying sometimes. Sometimes you would literally start an audio log, and then like Atlas calls you, like Fontaine calls you. And then you start the audio log again, and then someone else calls you, and then you start the audio log from the beginning again. Like, yeah, something like that does happen in Bioshock, but guess what? In the end, you end up experiencing the story and audio log, you know, and you push through it, you survive it, you know, and you emerge on the other end of that struggle with all of the information necessary, all of the information required, all the information that the game could give you from that specific, you know, part of it. So, like, maybe just do it, you know, and, like, stop being a pussy or whatever. But no, it is so annoying that, like, the second game, at least, like, the first game was kind of iffy, but the second game was, like, huge AAA production, huge AAA value, you know, up the wazoo. And the third game is like that also, I assume, right? And you have all those audio logs, and they do not play if you leave the screen. They cannot play in the background as you play the game. Especially for a game that's supposed to be like all about this Metroidvania exploration. There's so many things to do by just running around and collecting things or whatnot, or hunting. Okay, why cannot I have like an audio log play as I do all that stuff? You edit all that stuff in, you have audio logs. The obvious solution is have audio logs play as you do stuff. Even Kojima, who for 4 games absolutely loved the idea that for the following dialogue, I want the player to just sit and listen and do nothing. The codec calls, right? No. Even Kojima realized that, well, what if I don't have codec calls? Because what if I make a Metal Gear game like a Metal Gear 5 or something, like Metal Gear Solid 5, I mean. And what if I have no story in it at all? And then I have some audio logs and you can play them at any time, including during, like, you know, running around the open world, doing side ops, doing missions, whatever. Okay, cool, it works. Even Kojima thought of that, right? Despite the fact that Kojima had obviously a strong affinity for, okay, no, we have this codec call, which is basically the same thing as a podcast type of thing, right? Like, I want you to sit down and just listen to it with some avatars, you know, of the people speaking maybe on the screen. But other than that, it's just subtitles. Okay, cool. No, let's do audio logs. And he understood how to make audio logs, right? And Kojima, until MGS5, wasn't even making like AAA schlock games. They weren't Western schlock. They were AAA, but they weren't Western AAA schlock. 5 very obviously was inspired by the Western, like, Ubisoft, you know, sandbox trend, obviously. But he knew how to do it. I don't understand why Eidos Montreal, or Montreal, whatever. Sorry, guys, if I mispronounce it. Montreal, I suppose? I don't know. Don't really say that word out loud all that often. So, we, like a company with a giant history of, like, working for big publishers, making big AAA games with overblown budgets, you know, big graphics, everything big. One of the messiahs of AAA gaming is Bioshock 1. Or 2 and Infinite, for that matter. But specifically Bioshock 1, of course, because it was the first. You guys couldn't think of having audio logs play as you run around? Like, I wonder if the third game actually does that as well. If it does, by the third game, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna forgive it. The third game, I will really think poorly of it. Like, I will literally subtract 1 out of my personal internal score for that game if they didn't fix that by the third game. I will subtract 1 because that's just ridiculous, guys. Like, what the hell are you thinking? Are you thinking at all, or were all the good things about the previous 2 games, were they just accidental? Was Deus Ex accidental? Mankind Divided and Human Revolution, were those games just accidental? Like, since you obviously aren't understanding such, basic things. Okay, rant is over. What I'm saying is that, no, I don't necessarily want to turn Cloudum into some kind of, on-rails experience where you constantly have somebody talking in your ear, about how charming and quirky they are, or how you're supposed to care about some, history lore of this universe. No, I'm not. Because even Bioshock, like, I'm not a huge fan of... Well, Bioshock has a lot of quiet moments, but imagine if Bioshock had Fontaine literally in your ear 24/7, being like, ooh, I see you found a first aid kit. Oh, those first aid kits. Oh, wow, dude. I remember, I used to get so high off them. Oh, man. And like, dude, shut the fuck up. Can I just pick up this fucking aid kit? Please. Without you commenting on it. Could you please stop commenting on every single thing? Yeah. It's like a Naughty Dog game type experience. Like, yeah, you wouldn't want that. And I'm not saying Cloudum could benefit from something like that. But there could be a few things. There could be maybe a voice actor here and there actually saying something. Or maybe a narrator, even, for the intro and outro cinematics. Intro and outro cinematics, in general, would be nice. Right now, I don't have any. Do I have any planned? Yes, I have many ideas of how to do that, but I also have, like, shortcut ideas for how to, finish the game without those. So there are all these optional things that could be added into Cloudum to make it into more of a AA experience as opposed to, like, a single A, i.e. indie experience. And I don't think the transition to AA will subtract too much, from the Spartan charm that it has right now. I think, yes, maybe there will be some subtraction, but the gains will be much more substantial. So that's it. That's what I'm saying. Okay. It's finally getting dark. I, still need to use it, and we probably Einie's probably done. You done? Yeah, he's done. Okay, I'm gonna put you in the pocket for just 1 second, just to take the glove off and end the stream. I noticed that for some reason, it probably doesn't happen in the live thing, but both the VODs, so Restream does it for some reason. When you stop the broadcast, the VOD ends up cutting off like the last 10 seconds of the stream. So when I say bye-bye and press stop streaming, like, no, where the VOD stops, it's nowhere near where I stopped bye-bye, where I said bye. It was, the VOD stops legitimately like 10 seconds before that. There was like a whole sentence in between, So yeah, saying bye now, and stopping the stream in about 5 seconds, just in case. Okay, that was just in case anyone actually sees this and thinks that I keep just stopping broadcast in the middle of sentences without even bothering of saying bye. No, I do say, okay, this is it, the end. And I usually do say goodbye after that. But, okay. Bye, I suppose, right?